What's up, friend? My name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And this is the Ibanez FRH10N. It's not a great name. It's really just a model number. It's almost just a serial number. This is like the Ibanez thin line acoustic electric with an emphasis on electric nylon string guitar. I've had my eye on something like this for a really long time, and this one for me really fits the bill. Now, this is not a paid advertisement. This is not a paid review or anything like that. I bought this with my own money for a very specific purpose, and that purpose was a solo instrument. So like the Beatles song that I played in the intro, I'm doing that stuff out live for weddings, cocktail parties, private events, that sort of thing. Showers. I did a lot of showers like wedding showers this summer. That's where this guitar is headed with me. So I wanted something that was light and carried into venues, and sometimes not even venues. Let's be honest. Sometimes it's in the middle of a field for a wedding ceremony or something. So I wanted something nice and traveled well. Could play in a bar restaurant for a cocktail hour, play in different spaces pretty well. I wanted something that amplified well. I want to be able to control my volume well enough, and I don't want feedback to be an issue, hence the thin line and all of that stuff. I needed it to sound good, and I really didn't want to break the bank. So it had to kind of fall within all of these things for me for my particular case use, and this one really does. So here's just a couple of quick specs on this. This has NATO back and sides. It does still have a solid Sitka spruce top, which I really like, and it is a full 25.5-inch classical scale length. However, this is a big thing for me, who mostly plays steel string acoustics and electric guitars like you see behind me. It's got a narrower nut width. So the nut width on this is about 1.8 inches. It's not the same as like a full classical 2-inch. It's a little bit slimmer, and this makes it more approachable for me as primarily an electric guitar player, steel string acoustic player. Makes it more approachable for me to flip back and forth from this instrument. Also, just to note, this does not come with its own case, which for me, that was fine. I didn't really need to pay extra for a case. It fits in my mono electric guitar bag just fine. So that, in my case, was a plus. May not be in your case, but for me, I'm just going to throw it in my mono bag, my gig bag, and take it there. I don't need to pay extra money for an extra case. Speaking of paying, this right now is listed at the time right now for $529 on Sweetwater's website. This is a really good value, and this is probably some of the best ROI that me as a professional guitar player would probably get on an instrument. I've made that money back in spades, which is great. And I just wanted something that was really simple to take out on gigs and have this nice solo voice. I really think that when you're playing solo guitar music, there's nothing better than the sound of a nylon string. Just the way that the notes ring out, the sound of the nylon strings, the mellow nature of this instrument, I think just sounds better for a lot of the stuff that I do when I play solo rather than a steel string acoustic, especially one that is, again, thin line. It does have a little like sound port up here, so if you are playing unplugged, it's not the best, but it's not terrible unplugged. It's a great couch practice guitar. You know, this gives you enough personal volume just to listen to it. selection is pretty good. It might be a little bit high. It's not probably high as far as classical guitars are concerned. If you're going for a little bit more of that fusion thing, it might be a little bit high out of the box. I might shave the bridge down a little bit. I think it comes with just regular normal tension nylon strings. I swap it out for super high tension. That way it gets a little bit more into that almost feeling kind of like a steel string sort of instrument for me. Again, that's to go back and forth pretty easily for my own benefit. I used to gig out with a Jose Ramirez 2CWE, I think is what the model name. These people got to come up with better, more memorable model names. I think it was that. It was the Cutaway with an electric pickup, and it was a gorgeous guitar. Cedar top, sounded amazing, especially through the electronics. It had dual Fishman electronics. But it was noisy. It was a tough guitar to gig with because of the feedback, and of course it had, I needed a bigger case. It was a full-size, full-thickness guitar. This is much easier to take to the gigs that I'm taking it to. Speaking of electronics, there are onboard electronics. This is Ibanez proprietary. They call it the AEQ210T, and it's just got a built-in tuner, a phase flip, and volume, treble, and bass. Which for me is enough. They sound decent enough. There is a battery pack down here right by the jack as well, just so you guys kind of see that. It sounded fine enough. I'm mostly going to be going into one of my Fractal units. So let me actually pull up my preset and I'll show you what I got going on here. There is really nothing crazy about my preset going. I'm just in my FM9 here, and I've got a little bit of EQ going, and here it is with the EQ off. And now the EQ on. Just doing some solid cuts in the highs and the lows, and then a little bit of sculpting here in the upper mids. I've got a compressor going just to give me a little bit of snap and sustain. Now on. And again, just to sort of even out my playing dynamics a little bit. And then I've got a concert hall reverb, a little bit of delay going, a looper for sound checking if I just want to step out, away from my stool and hear how things sound through my speakers, which is usually my Hendrickson Bud 6. If I'm taking it to something like this, maybe if I need a little bit more volume, I'll take a K12 or something, or a K10. But this is really simple. It's really easy to get a good tone for me. It was really easy to get a good tone right out of the box after I, put on my preferred strings and did all that stuff. Since this is a more fusion-oriented guitar, let's go ahead and hear it with a backing track as well. As far as build quality goes, I don't think you can get much better at this price point. The overall construction, the fit and finish look really, really good. The only thing I might notice is like on the top, there's a little bit of some sort of strange discoloration there. That might be a big deal to you. It's really not to me. There's a couple of other, like you can see some what they call medullary rays from the solid Sitka top. But there's no like blemishes. There's no leftover polish. The fret edges feel really, really, really good and smooth all the way up and down the neck. I don't feel any sort of catching on my fingers, on my hand. All in all, I'm actually really, really, really impressed. I just got that Ibanez Prestige AZ series back there that you kind of see. It kind of blends in with my light. That's the Prestige, the made in Japan, which is flawless. It's an amazing, amazing guitar, hum, single. I'm going to do a full review. I did an unboxing, first impressions. It's still impressing me, and I'm going to do a full review of that in the future. That's obviously like over $2,000, and it's flawless, and it should be flawless for that type of money. And at $529, this is also not really the same, but it's really, really, really good. There's nothing that I can point out that would say like, this is cheap, or they cut corners here, or they did something here. The only thing that's a little bit bothersome is sometimes if you're playing, the battery door, the battery compartment door will sort of buzz, and you'll get a little bit of this sympathetic buzzing. Now, when you're playing through a system, I really don't hear it. And it really only buzzes on certain frequencies. So you could gaff tape that down or something, or put a little bit of foam in there to just sort of give it a little bit of resistance from buzzing. But that's really the only thing that I've really noticed. Other things that I was also considering, other guitars that I was considering when I was looking for this style of a guitar, I was looking at the multi-ax, the Godans, and I was looking at the Sires. They have sort of a thin line nylon string electric as well. But this one fit the bill. The Godans get pretty expensive. They're around like $1,700 up to like $2,000, maybe a little bit more for some of them. The Sires were, I think, were around that $600 mark, but this one was in stock, and I really wanted it for a gig that I had coming up, where I knew that they wanted the sound of a nylon string. And I wanted something that was going to be an outdoor gig. I wanted something that was going to be easy to play outdoors and fight feedback. So I went ahead and got this, and I've been really, really impressed with it, especially at the price. All in all, I think this is a really great value for what you are paying for. The guitar is well made. It sounds great. It's an easy, super easy load in and load out for me when I'm playing these types of gigs, weddings, private events, private parties, cocktail gigs, showers, that sort of thing. It's real easy. This in my electric guitar gig bag, my Henriksen Bud 9-pound little amplifier, and my FM3, and I am good to go. It's also got a great ROI if you're doing this stuff, because not a huge cost. $530 is not a whole lot to pay for a really good, really useful guitar. You might want to add it to your guitar arsenal. That's been it for me today. I'm going to play you out with some more solo guitar music. Thanks for hanging with me, and I'll see you next time.